Hi Vikesh, first of all, thanks a lot for agreeing to doing this small video with us. I would just want to first you to give the introduction about yourselves and how did you get to know about us, the admit that you received, and in general about yourself. And then I think I'll ask you a few questions to understand how your experience has been working with us.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm Vikesh, and I came to know about you guys from my friend Shreyas, who studied with me. So it was a referral.
Yeah.
That's how I came to know about you guys.
Yeah.
And he found out you guys through Reddit actually.
Oh.
So that's how he found you guys.
Okay.
Right. So I saw that he had a nice time with you guys, and he recommended you guys to me. And the time when I was applying, I was looking at 2 degrees. That is either apply for MBA or MFin.
Okay.
And mostly in the European region and not the US.
Right.
So I had a limited set of options, and then I just focused on UK.
Yeah.
So for all that, I'll just give you my background. So I did my industrial engineering in Anna University, CEG.
Right.
And I graduated from there around 2023 and joined a venture capital firm right out of that.
Yeah.
It's a firm called Atex Ventures. They focus on deep tech investments. And I played a very integral role because I was the first founding employee there.
Right.
In ventures, and we have done a couple of investments. So my entire background is on technical investments. And this is what I have done for the past 3 years. And also I wanted to apply to either MBA or MFin because of branding. That is the only thing I was looking at. I looked at big names, that is like HEC Paris, Cambridge, Oxford, LBS, LSE, all these guys, right? And most of these guys, wanted a GMAT or a GRE.
Yeah.
Then I didn't have that much time.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I was working, and wasting a month or two is a lot of time for me because we were just growing as a company.
Right.
And I value impact and the work I do over writing a GMAT or a GRE, which is maybe a complete time waste. Right. For someone like me. So I focused more on like which colleges I can apply without a GMAT or a GRE.
Yeah.
And there are like few colleges accepting that actually.
Right.
And I look for post-work experience degrees where you can apply for finance at least.
Right.
Because most of the people after MBA also end up in finance job. And so I thought, okay, I do a post-work experience. MFin provides the same value there, but specified to finance alone. Right. So that's one of the reasons I chose Cambridge. And one more college which I wanted to apply was LSE. But again, they didn't have you needed a GMAT or a GRE there. It is something you needed, and maybe that's not the only reason I applied to Cambridge. They had an amazing engineering school as well.
Yeah.
I wanted to focus more on technical investments. This is where I want to be. Right. So that's the main reason I took Cambridge. And when I came to Kevin, I think I told him I just wanted to apply to Cambridge, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
And we had like a month, I guess. I gave them the deadline of January, and I reached out to them on December 1st.
Right.
And we worked through, we iterated our resume as much as possible. I iterated my LORs.
Right.
The editing team is goated, I would say. And that's how we kind of applied before the deadline. And it's rolling admissions, by the way. For Cambridge, it's rolling admissions. But I kept a deadline of January, so I could get more scholarships. So before 18th of March, there are a lot of scholarships which expire. So they are scholarships from colleges. They are scholarships from the university itself. Right. So having an early application is better, and especially before March 18th, because after that the scholarships kind of die out. So I did look at it, and that's the only reason I like, kind of rushed them. And even before that, I did a lot of groundwork on Cambridge. I reached out to the adcoms. They have a, what to say, a website where they check your CV and tell whether you are a good fit or not. And also, Cambridge is very responsive, so you can get as much detail as possible from them.
Yeah.
Even with making your LOR or SOP, I would suggest you do that, and then start iterating, because life becomes much easier after that.
Right.
And there's very less information on MFin, Cambridge out on Reddit or out on many of the platforms except their own.
Right.
So I found it difficult to consume a lot of know-hows on how I should proceed. So a lot of information is something is from the university itself for me. So that's how I went ahead and proceeded to apply to Cambridge.
Right. And so usually I ask this question, like, what made you choose us over other consultants? But in your case, you were suggested to us by a friend, right? So if you can just share what kind of review you've gotten from him about us that made you work with us, just so other people can also understand what's there that we do that other people don't.
Yeah, sure. So we did reach out to other people earlier, right? So Shreyas, he has obviously tried, both of us reached out to IDP initially, and it was very generic, and the help was not that focused, and that personal touch was missing, right? So for most applications, the real pain point is iterating on it.
Yeah.
And if the teams are not that responsive when you want to iterate, it's leaving you at a very critical point, right? So we faced these kind of issues from previous people we met. That is mostly the big ones.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of students, you cannot blame them. Or maybe they cannot give the same kind of attention to everyone. But again, the point of me applying there is they give me that attention, right? Meanwhile, when Shreyas applied with you guys, he gave me a review that you guys are very responsive. And also your team, in terms of giving them insights on where they could improve, also played a major role for him. And for me, it was on the number of iterations within a month. He went ahead with almost 6 to 7 iterations in a month. And that's how my LOR and SOP was drafted.
Yeah.
And that requires a lot of attention to just your one single customer, or like me, right? One single student. And this is something I didn't find with other consulting firms. So that's the reason we went ahead with you. And Shreyas is a good friend of mine, so I believe him, and that's how I was referred to you guys.
Right. So one very important thing that has happened in your case, where you've gotten into Cambridge without a GMAT, is you focusing a lot on your experience and your profile, right? And we are actually on a daily basis reached out by people who feel that a GMAT of 715 is the only gateway to getting into a school like let's say HEC or Cambridge or Oxford or LBS. Even your friend, he had a decent GRE score. It was not a 330 or a 325, right? I think Shreyas had 319 or 317, right? 317 if I'm not wrong. So during the whole process, because you were someone who had already reached out to Cambridge, right? You've done a lot of groundwork yourselves. According to you, what is it that these schools are looking for? And is this point where GMAT is everything and GMAT is the most important thing true according to you?
Not really. I mean, like, see, first of all, it depends on what you want to get out of the program. Okay, so for me specifically, I wanted to know more people. I wanted to leverage the college
Right.
on, like, starting something of my own, or probably interacting with a lot of people in the industry. So in that case, I wanted to choose a much older college,
Right.
and also I wanted to focus on technical investments, as I said earlier, right?
Yeah.
So this is something I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and in terms of that, Cambridge kind of fit this thing, and Cambridge fit. Oxford also fit. Oxford was like a 8 months program,
Yeah.
9 months program, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure, but it's less than a year program in Oxford.
Yeah.
And Oxford is known more for their law, more for their arts than engineering. But
Yeah.
meanwhile, Cambridge is not like that.
Hmm.
And then there is LSE, LPS, all these guys who need GMAT, GRE. It is very important on what you want from the college. So and most of the colleges I see require a GMAT or a GRE, at least for like to keep a basic check. Like if the median is, let's say, for HEC it would have been like 320, and you have 317. Again, 320 is a median.
Yeah.
So they have people having marks below that.
Yeah.
So what actually highlights is your profile. It's not the marks anymore.
Yeah.
So you may, obviously, having good score helps, but you having a stellar profile like keeps you, like, out of the regular people who apply. You are gonna stand out there. Right. So for me, like, I focused on investments for deep tech, and in at least my industry, I have done some justice where I have done like 5 to 6 investments with just 3 years of experience, and also like because I got to work in a much smaller VC firm earlier on, I kind of bring in a lot of experience, right? And when I spoke to the AdCom with Cambridge, what they really like, kind of appreciate is the experience you bring on to the cohort. So there are so many people like you, so many people can get amazing marks.
Yeah.
But you don't want all those guys. Like sometimes, they get a guy like you told shares, like you got 370, and then there's one guy who got 330. Maybe the guy who got 330 doesn't get an admit.
Yeah.
It might mean it's not like India, right? It's just based on marks. Over there, they look at your profile holistically, and they see like what other stuff you have done. They keep marks as median. They're like, okay, good enough, and then they focus on what else would they focus on. You think your extracurriculars come much later. They look at what you have done professionally or what you have done relevant to the course, right? So in my case, I have done 5 investments, and I have done a couple of them. So they judge me based on that, and also they look at your SOP and LOR very seriously. Is what I feel in these colleges, and that kind of gives you a huge jump. And anyway, in your LOR and SOP, it'll be written about what you have done, what you have done professionally. Why do you want to do this? So you have to have a clear understanding of why you want to do it. And if all your professional experience or experience is kind of aligned with the course you want to do, it gives you a massive edge over you having like a great score. One great score. Right. And I specifically targeted colleges which didn't need GRE or a GMAT. It saves my time. And I saw like a college like Cambridge, I saw Edinburgh, I saw Imperial. So these 3 colleges didn't require a GMAT or a GRE, but they do require like above 7.7 GPA, like a UK 2:1 and above. And I think Imperial alone is UK first class. So you got to watch out for that. So they are very strict on what's the base requirement they need. So suppose you have 7.6 and then they require you to have 7.7. They are very strict about it. But if you like cross their threshold, like a specific need, like you have 7.74 or instead of 7.7, like it's 7.70, and you are like slightly above also, they still consider your profile. So after that, if you cross the minimum threshold, it is entirely on your LOR, SOP, and what you can contribute to the cohort.
Right. So I think, and this is something that we also regularly share with our students, that career clarity and what they want out of the college and how their current experience is aligned is the most important thing, right? If someone can prove that they are built for what they want to do in the future, they can have a comparatively lower GMAT score and still get in. Right? In your case, there was no GMAT score, right? Your experience must have been the highlight of your application. You must have liked it so much that they were okay giving you an admit over someone who had a GMAT or a GRE score, right? So that's one insight. One last question that I want to ask you would be, what would you say to people who are, let's say, a bit hesitant towards investing in a study abroad consultant? Would you advise them? If yes, what kind of advice would you share with them? What kind of work they should be doing themselves also while looking out for a consultant, according to you?
Yeah, I mean, like, see, dude, like, if you have like a lot of time, let's say you have like, nothing much to do apart from applying for college, I would say you wouldn't need consultant, and probably you can do a lot of research on your own.
Yeah.
Like, you could reach out to the adcoms in the college, you can reach out to people on LinkedIn.
Right.
And then you require to, iterate your LOR, SOP on your own and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You have like a amount of time. I know that most of them can do it on their own. But the issue is a lot of us don't have a lot of time. So for me, I get time probably after 9 p.m. until like 12, and then I go off to sleep. And that much time is not enough to iterate or probably even think about it, because I don't have the mental capacity for it. But I have done good research, because I'm a very paranoid person. I get very paranoid without doing research. I cannot give it to someone just like that, right? And I believe everyone should like do some level of research even before reaching to the consultant, because they really don't know what you want unless you tell them. And they also don't know what they could help you with. Like your LOR SOP is totally dependent on your story. They can help, iterate it, but that's pretty much it. It's still your story.
Right.
So you got to like do your groundwork even before reaching out to them, so that the entire process is effective. See, for me, I have like scouted like one college alone for 3 months.
Right.
Okay, it might sound very retarded that I looked at just one college and I'm applying there, and that's pretty much it.
Right.
It sounds very, very stupid, right? Like, what if I don't get? Then what happens?
Right.
Yeah. But I know that if I don't get it, I don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I don't want to go for masters. I am
Right.
doing masters so that I get access. I get to speak to more people. I kind of get hold of the entire ecosystem. Otherwise, I don't want it. So I was like very, very head on. So I want only one college, and maybe I kept one backup. That's Edinburgh. I applied to Edinburgh, got Edinburgh. But I feel that Cambridge is a better college. This is my personal opinion. Yeah. So again, I have done groundwork for 3 months. So initially I applied Imperial on my own, and I got rejected, and I didn't do much research. So I thought, okay, I have 1 month, deadline is there, and I will just like write LOR SOP using GPT. I iterated it a little bit here and there, and I sent it to them. And then I got rejected. I'm like, shit, man. Like, I wrote the same stuff for, I'll be writing the same stuff for, Cambridge or Edinburgh also after this. What can I add? Like, this is my story. I cannot do much. But again, that's not true. Like, each and every college wants specific points. Like, see, for Cambridge, I know like my goals and their goals are kind of aligned. So for me, it was much easier to iterate there. So they want people with a background, with a strong work experience. I knew that, and they also wanted people with a different kind of experience in this field. Right. So there are very few VC firms in India,
right?
And there are very few people who have done as many deals as much as I could in my age group. At least that's what I figured out. That is after asking people and seeing the entire industry.
Right.
So I thought, okay, I had a niche. Okay, so how can I kind of align with the Cambridge goals? So in the next 3 months, I was looking at where exactly like after I got the reject from Imperial, I looked at exactly where Cambridge what exactly Cambridge is looking for. And wanted to understand more about the program genuinely, and then reached out to a couple of people on LinkedIn saying that, hey dude, like I know even I am planning to apply. Most of them don't reply. You got to message as many people as possible.
Right.
So one of them will, and when they do, you get to ask them on how's the program, and also you should be well researched. Whatever is there on the net, you ask them, they won't entertain as much. You want to get something which is not there, right? So I came to know about several programs there like QTech, how useful that is, and about the job scenario. Yes, everyone wants to know. It's a bad, okay, it's bad. But again, I want to know what I could get out of the university apart from jobs. Jobs is it's a probability game. You might get, you might not. But again, it's a probability game that no one has control over. But I did. Then I spoke. Then when I did more research, there was no content on MFin actually. MFin Cambridge, you get it, very less content and not as much to have a strong this thing, like this is the way you go ahead. There's nothing like that. So I reached out to the adcom. So there is one person I reached out to called Ben Cappy. I mean, he's the admissions officer, and they replied within a day or two, which is actually quite fast. If you ask. So I asked them all the doubts I had related to the program, what do they look for, and also that they have a CV screening link in their website. So you can submit your CV and they will get back to you on whether you are a good fit or not. And also you will have a one-on-one call with the MFin director. So that after seeing your CV, that is.
Right.
So you are doing this for free, and they are giving 30 minutes of their time. They are actively looking at your CV, whether it's good or bad. They give you a review, and they might indicate stuff like, "Hey, I would recommend you to strongly apply." Then just don't think about it. They know that you're a good fit, and just end up applying. But while you're doing that, you would have done research about what exactly they're looking for, what's the cohort size like. So for me, I was I told you, I was very paranoid. So I went through LinkedIn and I stalked all the profiles who have done MFin in Cambridge alone. And I saw their profiles, I put it in GPT and saw what they're exactly looking for. It was 100 plus profiles.
Right.
So I kind of compared that with my CV and saw how likely I'm going to get it. I mean, this is, you do it when you're extremely paranoid.
Right.
So the likelihood was above 50%. And then I reached out to Kevin.
Right. I mean, you've done the amount of work that you've done before reaching out to us is very impressive. This is something that I have literally, and again, it changes from person to person, because we are reached out by a lot of people who are in their final year of the college as well, right? People who want to do MFin while they are, let's say, studying in SRCC, Stephens, these kind of colleges, right, or IITs. We also have individuals who want to do MIMs, right, who want to do MSBA, right? So at the stage where you are in, you knew what you wanted out of your life, right? And you cannot get it wrong, right? You cannot go to a tier 2 school and you cannot expect to get what you wanted out of Cambridge from that school, right? So
I would
go on.
Like to add, for me, you're spending almost similar, the difference between colleges, especially for international student, is not that different, at least in the UK.
Yeah.
I know that in lakhs, yes, there's a difference.
Yeah.
But it's not that high. So if I go for, let's say, Imperial instead of Cambridge, okay, I got Imperial. It's £50,000.
Yeah.
That's the fees. right? And Cambridge is 60,000 pounds. So, but the access you get because of you being in Cambridge is so much more higher.
Yeah.
Is it worth the 10,000 pounds? Maybe yes. And sometimes, they also have scholarships
Right.
in a place like Cambridge. Actually, more scholarships than Imperial is what I feel.
Right.
So you might probably match up the cost, or let's say there's one exception to this. That is Edinburgh, which is again 35,000 pounds, and living costs over there are much lesser. But it's also accounting to almost 50,000 pounds, and if you go to Cambridge, it is 80,000 pounds. This is including living and all that.
Right.
So yes, over here there's a 30,000 pounds difference.
Right.
Okay, then it's like huge.
Right.
So then maybe if but the stuff you leverage out of Cambridge is so much more than you could leverage from an Edinburgh or Imperial is what I felt personally.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, is the same story happens in India as well, right? Like IIMs are expensive, ISB is expensive, but then there are schools which can cost you like 5-10 lakhs for your MBA also, right? What you get out of the school is entirely different. It's not about you just getting a degree. It's also about where do you want to get it from, right? So while we can just say this and maybe share this with people like how getting a brand name is helpful, it eventually is a personal call, right? Like how it helps them, right? Like what are their ambitions, what do they want out of the program, right? But yeah, I mean, in short, based on what Vikesh has mentioned, right, if you can do the research yourselves, do the whole GPT thing that you did, can reach out to a lot of people and do all of this working without, and again you need to also have access, right? You had access to people, like you mentioned, you have a few friends studying at Wharton, Stanford and all, right? You had access, you reached out to these people, you knew what you wanted out of the program, right? In that case, I would also personally recommend, you don't need a consultant. If you have that kind of access, you have that kind of direction, you know what you want out of your career, right? But again, not to just work with us in general. If you feel like you don't know what you want out of your life, but you do want to get a master's degree done right now, and it's very important for you to get an admit right now, and you want help as selecting the schools, you want us to help you with your SOPs, essays, of course, something that is a strong point, then working with us can really elevate your chances and give you a lot of clarity on what they can get out of the program. Thanks a lot, Vikesh, for taking out time for this. I have taken more than I think about 15 minutes of yours for this session. Looking to stay in touch with you throughout the whole tenure of yours at Cambridge and after that as well. All the best.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks, man.